What are your strengths? In my 10 years of experience as a hiring manager, I was surprised by how many people got this answer wrong. But don't worry, my friend, I'll be using my experience as a senior manager and a career coach to help you craft a winning answer that can help you stand out as exceptional. By the end of this video, you'll know how to pick the right strengths and communicate them effectively and confidently so you can leave a lasting impression and land that dream job. It's all included in my simple 3-step formula. Let's jump in. Step 1. Make a list of strengths that the interviewers and the company may care about. There are 2 parts to this. Part 1, look at the job description. Look at the skills and experience that they are asking for. Then put yourself in the interviewer's shoes. If you were the interviewer, based on the skills and experience, what are the strengths that you would care about? Let's look at a job description and pick out a strength together. For example, if I was applying for this lead engineer position, I'd scroll down and look at the requirements. Here, the first requirement is lead engineers and other stakeholders to review development challenges, define requirements, and then propose, test, and ship solutions. Here I see 2 strengths that the hiring manager may be looking for: leadership and stakeholder management. Since I've been a hiring manager and written job descriptions in my past, here's an insider secret. The requirements that are listed towards the top are the ones that the hiring manager cares most about. So try to find strengths that tie back to these requirements. Part 2, look at the company values. What strengths would help here? Let's look at a company's values together and pick out one strength together. Let's assume I was applying for a job at Phoenix Labs. Looking at the values, I see hyper-transparency and candor. Under it, I see candid feedback. So a strength here that may help you shine is providing and receiving candid feedback. So I would add this to the list. Step 2, how to pick your strengths. We'll start by filtering the list from step 1. Look through this list and figure out which of these are actually your strengths. This step ensures that you're picking strengths that are relevant to the job itself. Too often I've heard people give strengths that were not relevant to the job. When picking your strengths, ask yourself, what do you do better than most of the other people? What sets you apart as a candidate? If you can't think of a strength, then you can do a strengths assessment. There are quite a few of these online. This is not sponsored, but I've used the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which I found helpful. I'll link it below. Once you've done the strengths assessment, then you can come back to this exercise. Some people feel nervous or anxious when sharing their strengths. If you're in this boat, remember that the interviewers are literally giving you the opportunity to brag a little about yourself. So take it, advocate for yourself. Some people may have a fear about coming off arrogant. And in my experience, many candidates have come off arrogant, whether intentionally or not. My tip here is to take the spotlight a little off you and think about how your strengths benefit others. Pretend you are a superhero and your powers are there for the good of the people. If you're finding this video helpful so far, smash that like button. It'll help support the channel. Step 3 of the formula. How do you phrase your strength so you come off confident? As a hiring manager, I've noticed this mistake. I would ask someone, what is your strength? And they would say, leadership. And I was thinking, tell me more. You want to give sufficient detail and still keep it concise. For that, we're going to use the STAR format, but with a little addition. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results. For the situation, think about how your strength shows up in your day-to-day work. How do you embody the strength? In what situation have you demonstrated this strength? Here's my personal example. My strength, which I'm still building on, is empathy. I've been known to jump into new teams, build trust and rapport quickly, and get them to high performance. I did this recently when I joined an infrastructure team as a team lead. For the task, what was the task at hand? My task was that I had to rebuild trust and get the team to high performance. For the action, what steps did you specifically take? And how did those steps embody your strength? My actions, I took the time to meet one-on-one with each engineer on my team of 20 engineers. During that one-on-one session, I asked them what was working well, what wasn't working well, and what can leadership do to better support them. As they gave their answers, I listened intently and with empathy. Over the next 2-3 months, I worked on fixing the issues that they had brought up. And lastly, we'll talk about the results. What were the results of you taking those actions in that situation? Again, we want to back it up with data to prove that we actually have those strengths. My results? I was successful in rebuilding trust to the point where my engineers were more open to raising issues and were even open to fixing them together. In 6 months, we had become a high-performing team. Notice that I didn't just talk about leadership. I went even deeper and picked a specific strength related to leadership, then showed how I embodied it, demonstrated it, and what were the results that it accomplished. One additional detail you may have noticed is that I said I'm still building my strength. This shows humility and that I'm still learning. Because let's be real, there's always more to learn. Interviewers may ask how you're building this strength, so be prepared to answer this question. Quick recap. Step 1, make a list of strengths that the company cares about based on the job description and the company values. Step 2, from that list, filter and pick 3 strengths that are actually your strengths that you have data or proof about where you've demonstrated real results. Step 3, put these strengths in the STAR format so you can communicate them confidently and effectively. As an added bonus, include how you're learning to build this strength further. For further help preparing for your interviews, including doing mock interviews where I ask you questions, you give answers, and I provide feedback, you can book a one-on-one career coaching call with me. I'll link it in the description below. And if you'd like to watch more videos to help you get hired, you can check out my playlist here. I wish you the very best. You got this.